Hi, my name is Sarah E. And last time I told you about the heroine of my novel, Waking Beauty. Her name is Briarly, and she is Sleeping Beauty. Well, today I want to tell you about her prince, Prince Arpien. And I just can't talk about Arpien without getting this big goofy grin on my face, because I adore Arpien. And I don't adore him the same way I adore Mr. Darcy. I don't adore him the way that people adore Ford from Divergent, because both those guys are all that. I adore Arpien because he is a noble dork. He's the kind of guy that I would want as a best friend in high school, because he's intelligent and analytical, and he's goal-oriented, and he's really, really loyal. He'll go out of his way for you. But at the same time, I think he's someone I periodically want to slap, because he takes himself so seriously. And he's kind of a poser. But let me back up just a little bit. Arpien is the great-grandson of the guy that Briarly was engaged to. So 100 years ago, there was a big celebration, a ball, an engagement ball, and at the end of that evening, she pricked her finger on a spindle and fell into 100 years of sleep because of a curse. Well, that was kind of a deal breaker, and so let's fast forward 100 years. Arpien has grown up with all of these family legends that have been passed down from his great-grandfather's journals and family stories about this peerless princess. And it's not just that she's beautiful, it's that if you remember from the original Sleeping Beauty, she's been given all of these christening gifts from her fairy godparents. And so I think of Briarly as kind of being like a superhero. She is super talented. So Arpien has this picture of this ideal woman, this dream girl, pardon the pun, and he decides, I am going to save her, I'm going to go on a quest. He goes and he searches out the perfect magic sword, the only one that can cut through these magical briars, and he charges up the tower, and he's all scratched up by the thorns, and he gets there and he's gonna kiss her awake, and she's dusty. And he kisses her, and she's just not all that excited to see him. She's pretty indifferent, and the attitude is sort of like, I don't really need a prince to save me, thanks for playing. So we find out later why Briarly is the way that she is, but in the meantime, Arpien has, the picture, the ideal of this woman who's up here on this pedestal, and splat go his romantic intentions. And something else why I like Arpien is that he is a poser. He is pretending to be something, to live up to an ideal. He acts a little bit like a cardboard prince. And the reason he does this is that he has a family tragedy in his past. I won't tell you what it is, you gotta read the book. But he has a huge rescuer complex. And he's really quaking in his boots. He needs to rescue someone in order to prove that he's not a coward. And he goes on a great growth journey himself to become more real, more authentic. And I love torturing Arpien. Every time he pulls something out of his romantic arsenal, he misfires, Briarly shoots him down. It's great. So, if you want to find out if Briarly and Arpien ever come to some sort of consensus, if you want to find out if they can defeat the evil fairy who is still around, or the kingdom, which has been ruled by somebody else completely different for 100 years, somebody had to rule it, if they ever get it back, well then you need to read Waking Beauty. And again, my name is Sarah E. Morin.